All right. Good morning. It's 6:31, August 15th. Hopefully everyone's feeling well. Take a look at the disclosure. Let's get to it. All right, boys and girls, my dogs. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. This is one of my favorite songs. How many football games, basketball games, high school sports? This starts. You get your juice flowing, getting ready for whatever comes your way, right? Whatever comes your way. Well, today doesn't feel like that. August 5th felt like that when I was driving home from Montauk, like 2:45 in the morning. Futures are down 150 handles, and I'm like, all right, we have really no risk on, and this is the time for a little playoff trading. And since then, my goodness, it's been 8 days, and here we are. Before we get into that, let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Let's see who's tuning in. We got Ali Hassan in the house. We got Toppin in the house. We got a bunch of Allisons. We got Joe Mama. There you go. What up, Hayden Martin? We got Sully. We got Rolandis. We got Vic. We got Scotty Gids. Just by the way, so I'm not talking to myself. Here I am. Okay, this is what it looks like. And there's everybody saying good morning. That's so sometimes when they ask questions or give me stock tickers, we interact. I don't know if this is on YouTube or it's on Twitter, wherever it is. That's that. So if you're watching on Twitter, I think YouTube is a little bit better. I'm trying to be able to get it on Instagram, but my IT department is slacking. Anyway, wow. What's this? It's a V. That's all we have so far. A V. The spies have been literally making higher lows and higher highs for like 8 sessions, and it's getting a little hard to trust, I got to say. I was just talking to my friend Petey, and we were talking about, how people are positioned. And some days are easier than others. I was down here at 510 right by the 200-day. VIX was through the roof. Everyone was going nuts. That was a great spot to put on some risk. Right here is where we put the blood in the street account, right around 517. A lot of people put a lot of their money to work when I put my wife's BOS account. That week, I made really good money in my active account, my swing account, my option account, selling puts, buying calls, in NVIDIA scooping it, this, that, and lo and behold, here we are at 544.96, right back into some really big congestion. Listen, right around here, I started selling some premium, some 541, some 544s, and right around here, I'm kind of, I'm net short. I'm still in some positions, like I've been in NVIDIA, and I've been in Dash, and I've been in Amazon, and I've been in that, but at this point, it's like I'm trying to catch a little bit of a cute thread the needle for somewhat of a retracement. Like we can go back to highs at some point in the next few months, but do we have to do it in a straight line? So if you do remember, in the last few charts I've had, will this V, turn into some kind of W, right? Will it come and start and go into some kind of W? In order for that to happen, first thing you got to do is get a peak, which we haven't really had a peak yet. We just keep making every day we go above the next high, and so you have low, higher, low, higher, low, higher, low, gap up, higher, low. So until we actually make a peak and do like a red dog reversal, we push above 544.96, come back below, make a topping tail into some resistance, which would be nice, and then give you a nice big red candle. Chances are, this retracement move that everybody would like, hasn't really shown its face yet. So at this point, there is no W until you get a peak and until you get it close below a prior low. Because right now, I don't know who's buying it here, but mechanically, I guess, a lot of the mega cap tech stocks have already had their earnings, so their buyback machines are on. It's August 15th. There's a lot of people in the mounds, on the beaches, so things are in a little bit of cruise control. Iran never bombed Israel. The data is kind of in line with a little bit more of a Goldilocks versus a hard landing. And the funny thing is, people are like, well, is the Fed ahead of the curve, behind the curve, or this curve, or that? I'm like, down here, they wanted an emergency point rate cut. And now up here, we'll just do a quarter. So if you don't think that the Fed watches the market and sentiment and greed and fear and all those things, you're out of your mind. So anyway, what to do from here? I would think you'd be a little careful here. I feel like it's almost just as risky to be buying up here. You could day trade, versus getting short up here if they really want to squeeze you into this area. This is 565. This is 555. This would be a likely spot, you would think, somewhere around here to give you a pause and a little retrace and then make some kind of higher low. Maybe, retest this. That would be very healthy, because right now what's going on is a little bit of a pain trade. What's a pain trade? A pain trade is when you had a lot of longs, like probably, into here, or even on this, break above 530. That was a good spot, and now all of a sudden you have less longs and you're watching things go up, or maybe even you're short and you're like, why didn't I just stay with this trade? And why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? And it creates a pain in the head, in the cabeza. That's right. Let it go. Go to the gym. This is my 10-week anniversary. 10 weeks from when I was laying in a hospital bed. My heart was in neutral. My lung was collapsed. I had a thing down my throat. They were going in here, 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 and here, and I could have been dead. Instead, here I am 10 weeks later. I was walking. Now I'm jogging. And today in the sauna, I was able to add the 10-pound weights. And you know what? Every day above ground is a good day. Don't sweat it. So anyway, what to do? Setup wise, we have retail sales at 8:30. We have the jobless claims at 8:30. So we'll see, how it dictates the day. At this point, you are getting some setups, but they're already in motion. We talked about the setup in Microsoft yesterday, right? Would it get above 410 to see almost 420? And look at that. There's your setup. You don't need to know if the stock market's going all-time highs. All you need to know is if Microsoft gets above 410, it could see 420. So that little void there was a trade, a cash flow trade. NVIDIA was a cash flow trade. Right now there's a lot of buzz out there because some of the hedge fund guys reduced their NVIDIA position. I get it. I'm still in NVIDIA. But anyway, this was your spot at 106-ish, or maybe the red dog reversal here at 98.69. Into this area, have a little less. I'm still in it, but I have a little less. It's been great for clues to the overall tape. XOM breaking out, Blair says, okay. What day did I do this? What day did I give you guys XOM? I don't know. Somewhere around here, my friend Todd from college was like, did you see XOM? I'm like, yeah, you know what? You can put this on as a swing. Here's your daily chart. I think the weekly chart was more important. Look how nice this weekly chart looks. Yeah, so if you're a good energy trader or you want to have some risk to some energy names, this XOM looks like it's ready to go. So there it is, Blair. Hopefully you're doing it. Yes, every day is a blessing. Meta. Yeah, Meta also has been fantastic. Looks like it's going to break an all-time high soon. I said that the week of the volatility, that if you need a name that you think is going to make an all-time high first, it's Meta, and Meta is coming up to it. It's right here. It's very, it's been trending above the 8-day, but it's still, even this is kind of hard, because if we do reach a peak in the SPYs today or tomorrow, and we pull in just to retrace, chances are Meta is not going to be breaking above 542 like that. So you want to make sure you can, take what you can handle. Here's 519. What's Meta doing this morning? It's up $1 at 528. So it's below 534. I'd like to see Meta go a little sideways. I'd like to see if the SPYs do come in and the Qs do come in, maybe, you could be a buyer into, this is like 519-ish, and it really shows some relative strength. But anyway, we'll see. What's going on with Google? There's a lot of negative news, but 13F shows they are buying it regardless. That's what PTEL says. So this is how we add some value in the 630 club. So they're saying what's going on with Google, that they think all the smart money is buying it. Where'd that guy go? There he is, Patel. But remember, it responded poorly to earnings. Okay. Then did something antitrust, and now the DOJ is saying they want to break it apart. So with that being said, Google has been the weakest one. So as a trader, you avoid it. Is a smart money smarter than everybody else? I don't know. All I know is that I'm not that smart. And this got rejected into the 8-day, while a lot of other things, took it back. I did play Google a bunch of times this year when it looked great, and sometimes when it's kind of out of play, you just, it's not worth your attention. So what's Google doing today? Let's see. Google down 33 cents, not worth your time. just not worth your time right now. Sometimes certain Mag 7 names are in play. That's why after the corrective phase, I'm like, the best thing about a corrective phase is that it uncovers the strongest relative strength name so you can stay with it. Google wasn't one of them. But what we just said, Meta looked good, right? Coming back to all-time highs. That is better than Google. Even Netflix, look at Netflix. Netflix, look at that. Above the moving averages in this void, trending higher. Some of you guys bought Netflix when it cleared this spot or verse 616, so that looks different. Apple, which was my favorite name, which was the one that I put bids in during that August 5th melees, look how much that came back. But again, like even Apple, really hard to be a buyer here now. Anyone who's shorting it has not been doing well, but the time to buy it was the retest of this area, which was 199, and then it's been making higher lows since. So for this to correct and give you a better entry, it's got to break below a prior low, which it hasn't been able to do. Remember when Buffett sold 50%, everyone was all worried? Well, I think he was just 94 years old, lighting up so his other PMs could make some decisions. But anyway, I'd be very careful into this 224-ish area. This is probably a better sell than a buy. Thoughts about Tesla? Well, Tesla made me a lot of money 2 days ago, and yesterday I lost money in Tesla. Tesla's acting like it did, months ago when it was broken and it was hard to trust. So I'm not in Tesla right now. This should not have happened. You should not be giving back that entire day, right? So anyway, it was a nice trade with this lower level pocket pivot. I was long options from like $1.50. I sold at $2.75, half of them, and I was on the stock. And I came in, and yesterday, there's really, there was not much opportunities there. I got rid of the rest of my options for like 90 cents because, in my opinion, it's not getting above 210, which was the strike that I had for Friday. So I wanted to save myself some money, and I'm out of the name. Maybe it goes inside a few days here and then gives a different setup, but overall, not great. Still have this pro earnings gap to the downside, bear flag lower, and just again, you have to be very careful with Tesla. Until it really pays you to stick, to stick around. BABA earnings are now, it's down. Good. No, I'm not good. I'm kidding. But BABA, if I had $1 for every time somebody to buy BABA in the last year as it's been in a decline, I'd have a lot of dollars, but I'd be down a lot of money because it's been so damn broken. Anyway, let's see what it's doing here. BABA down 224. All right. What's this at 77? What's this low from yesterday? 78. I would just avoid it. Chinese names have been really, really hard. I've tried to be in FXI a few times, and it's been kind of a mess. You did get one little sequence here, but did you see some of the news about? I think China's going through their 2007, 2008. What we had, because what they did in China back in in the last decade, they pulled all their money to buy apartments in Beijing and Shanghai for status, and I don't know. And then they drove prices up, and then they gave loose money, and PS, everything's unraveling there. Kind of like what happened in 2007, 2008, when, remember that financial crisis or the housing crisis? That's why that crisis was so bad, because for 4 years leading into that housing crisis, the Community Reinvestment Act said everyone should own a home. You don't have to give us stocks. You don't have to put money down. And then you saw them day trading, apartments. The strippers from Vegas were day trading apartments. You knew something was wrong. And then PS, that's why the financial crisis and the housing crisis together was tough. And the reason why we haven't had a real crisis since is because, ever since then, the banks have been really tough. I remember when I got my house in 2011, basically, they checked everything underneath the hood from behind my ear to in my tush, to make sure, I was qualified. And I'm a K1 because I'm an owner. My wife's a W2, together, well over $500,000 in earnings, and still it was tough to get the house and put 20% down. That's why the housing market's been so ironclad in the U.S., because they really made it hard to get a home because they learned from the financial crisis. So that's why China, I feel like, is going through their little problem here. Anyway, let's move on. Regulations are good sometimes. Gold is gold looks like it's ready to break out again. Gave you a little bit of a pullback. Very nice consolidation up here. What's gold doing today? The GLD is up $1, so it's hanging here. I would say, actively it would make it very easy, or much easier or quicker, if GLD would hold this spot to then take out 228, 229. if you're an asset allocator, you definitely could be putting 10% in gold, every single month. If you have money that goes into some kind of pie chart, I would think, a certain percentage goes into gold, certain equities, certain bonds, and Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin doing? Somebody asked me. Bitcoin looks like it's still in this pocket pivot, and hanging here. Ooh, it's rolling down a little bit, rolling. He's still in this huge channel, and kind of like looks like it's basically, you could take this line out of here now. Doesn't look great, to be honest. It couldn't even get back halfway into the channel. So at this point, it's still just kind of noisy. Bitcoin is noisy. It stopped a lot of people out, gave you a move back towards the 62, 63, and in the lower end of this overall channel. Everyone who's saying, Bitcoin's going to go to, 85,000 or 100,000. Well, at some point, it's got to clear this channel whenever it's ready, and sometimes it just takes time. Anyway, don't be over during this whole big phase, from this whoosh down into August 5th and the rally back. I have not traded Bitcoin. I've been trading the Qs, and I've been trading the semis, and I've been trading the SPYs, and there's other things that are easier that don't trade all night and could have a misdirectional move on you. RTX. I haven't looked at RTX in a while. I'll put it up. So the lines are probably odd. Oh, I don't even have the charts up. I'm sorry. Here's the chart. That's RTX. Ooh, look at that. It's a nice big gap and go right here. And this looks pretty good. Looks like above the 8-day, has a big pro earnings gap. It's a nice looking chart. There you go. You can see the charts now. Ken? Amazon. Amazon's coming out with today's retail sales. I made a little bit of money in Amazon earlier this week. I was buying it in this 168. I hit 172. I trimmed some. I still have some. This gap is now less. So now you can go like this. So in order to get from 172 to 181, it's got to get above 172. For today, see, I guess if it holds this little spot, this spot is 168-ish. Ulta, okay. I saw something out there, Berkshire. Wow, that thing been annihilated. Question is, did he buy it before this move? So what's it doing today? It's probably up emotionally on the word. Yeah, $48. So where is that? That's 376. So 376 is right back into here. So, basically Ulta's, the question is, when did he buy it? Did he buy it, in here before the move lower? So now he's getting his money back because of his name. I don't know. That the stock's going to take some time. What else? I'll be honest. I am really in a weird spot here, mentally. I hate chasing things. I hate fighting moves. I love trends. But at this point, at some point, I feel like we have to, retrace a little bit. I'm not sure what the catalyst, maybe the retail sales today, maybe not. But at this point, for me, it's hard to sink my teeth into long. And I'm also like a little net short here around this 545-ish or 544-ish. For today, see how we handle 544.96. Does it push above and hold above and continue towards 547? Does it push above, come back below? Yesterday, the market tried to do a red dog reversal yesterday. It tried to push above 542.28 and come back below, but there were still buyers. So until that happens, try not to, have too much of just short on the brain, especially if you can't handle it. I know a lot of people who got short on this day thinking that this oversold bounce is over at the 8-day, didn't cover here, and they've been rolling it up and they're hating life. And I hate life. If you hate life, you're dead a long time. Anyway, cash is a position. I hear you. Listen, if you did really great, a lot of people have made a lot of money short too. Like if you look here, technically, there's a lot of clues. This red dog reversal post Fed got a lot of people short, and then you could have made money and covered here, or we had puts on there, and then that happened. And then you could have bought in here, and you made and it's there are some spots that just aren't worth trading. They're kind of worth watching. Or again, August 15th, worth being on the beach or in the mountains or doing whatever it is you're doing. I'm actually heading to LA on Sunday, so I am not going to be at my desk Sunday through Wednesday next week. So there will be no 6:30 club. What's today? Today's Thursday. Oh shit, sugar on the iced tea. Today might be the last 6:30 club for a while. I will, I'll interact and I'll do whatever I got to do with you guys. But the 6:30 club will not be every single session like this. I'm glad I just remembered. I'm going to probably do a happy hour today, so maybe we'll do that publicly. But bottom line is, tomorrow I'm going to Philly. My son's trying out for the World's Maccabi game, so I'll be in and out from my desk on Friday. And then Sunday, I'm going to be on a flight going to LA to Ojai, whatever the hell the place is called. And I'll have a few positions on, a few option trades, but at this point, could be a good time to go on vacation if you made a lot of money. You know what? Today, if the SPYs, get towards and they squeeze higher, and we get towards 548 to 550, I might just take off my wife's Blood in the Street account. She bought it right here on the close. That means she carved out another 5%. The same way we carved out 5% here, where typically I don't sell it until a new high, but this was only 5% off the highs. I think we got a 4.8% off the highs, sold it here. I bought her account probably about 8-point-something% off the highs. So now we're only going to be about, into this area about 2-3%. So what I'll do is if I take it off, then I carve out another 5%. It goes back into a fixed rider, and then it waits again for Blood on the Street. And if we do go back to highs and continue to trend, it doesn't matter. We have a 401k where you put money in every month, a 529 for Chase's college, money every month, and her 403b, money every month. The Blood on the Street account is not allowed to do that, so I use it for special circumstances, and right here was a special circumstance. Okay, so up here, another 5%, not so bad. And hopefully you guys, do your account based on what she does, did pretty well. Some of you already told me yesterday you got rid of half of it that you just had to, and I hear you. Ojai, I think Ojai is it's a spa in the mountains of LA. So that's where I'm going with my wife. To enjoy the summer a little bit. I'm allowed, right? Anyway, 10 weeks ago, I was sitting on an operating table. I've been working ever since, and it's time to enjoy a little bit. So we'll see where we are. We'll see what kind of options and this and that I'll put on, but chances are I will not be doing what I do. So when you go on vacation, chances are you should do a lot less. So this way, A, you can enjoy your vacation, and B, you're not, you're out of harm's way just in case you can't see what's happening, make decisions, and maybe you don't have Wi-Fi or etc. Or sometimes you go to an inflection point for up here tomorrow. Hey, maybe just for sugar honey iced tea or shits and giggles, I put on a little bit of puts if we get a retracement. But anyway, I'm babbling now. It's 6:53. I got to jump. We'll see how it goes. What does Tadi say? I can't go on a real vacation till after NVIDIA earnings. All right. When's NVIDIA earnings? NVIDIA earnings are, I thought, they're the 27th. I'll be back for the 27th. At this point, a lot of the meat of the move is over anyway. From the buy in the hole under 92, or the buy on, what was this? This early this week of 106, now into this 118. Chances are it's not going to do a whole hell of a lot between now and earnings anyway. It's not going to be an all-time high up here going into earnings. You just had your retracement. This is like a 50% retracement of this move. So you know what? Take a few days off, Todd. You're allowed. I'll see you guys later.